Okay, I'm going to try to finish this up here. I just was taking a look at the general shape of this piece. I could easily just constrict this base to a, or constrict the stem and make a contracting stem piece with maybe some small barbs. It's thinner here, so I'm going to make this the tip. Although I could, it could be either way. It's just less work with this being the tip. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an expanding base stem, which means I'm going to have to cut off some of it. But it'll allow me a chance to thin down this base from the base. Take this down and shoot some flakes. It's still thick enough in the middle. I don't think I'll break it in the middle, but it's always a possibility we got to watch out for. And what I'll do is I'll clean up these edges before I do anything on the base, because most of the time these cracks will come across from nasty spots along the edge. If you hit on the base or the tip, the cracks will start from the edge and work across. You know what I mean? So if you clean it up and remove a lot of the weak spots and stippy areas, it reduces the amount of existing cracks where this stress snap will happen, or has a potential to happen. Right? So I'll just do that. Work on the edges first and then thin the base. Pretty straightforward stuff. I'm just going to pressure flake the edges because they're really jaggedy right now because of the punch work I was just doing. Well, that I did last night. Also give me a chance to think about this a little bit more, because I literally just sat down right now. Haven't had much time to think about what type of point. It's just going to be a generic expanding base or expanding stem with some barbs. It's colder tonight than it was last night, and I don't know if it affects the slipperiness of the antler, but it feels like it does. And this is pine rosin. I add it to the tips now sometimes. It seems to work a little bit better than just antler by itself. It helps to grip the edge when you've got a really strong platform, and it just kind of slips off. It'll slip off a lot with obsidian. It's just slipping off every time right now. You can't see really, but I'm trying to push on this platform here. If I could just push on that one really hard, I should be able to get a flake to go across this ridge. Just not pushing hard enough, and it's slipping a lot too. Alright, I got it that time. Right there. It's kind of stopped right there. Right? Let's see. No? I think it stopped. Kind of steppy right there at the end. Anyway, I'm not going to go that slow for the remainder of this. I'm going to try to speed it up. I'm still not totally comfortable with these pressure flakes, so I'm getting some step fractures and some weird initiations. But if I see a nasty area on the face after I'm done with this cleaning up on the edges, I'll just try to take a indirect percussion strike to clean some of that mess up. Take a big white flake off somewhere, or maybe in a couple areas. I forget that I can close my knees together, get some added power. So yeah, you guys can fast forward through this era, this time period. You can't really see what I'm pressure flaking. Maybe I can talk about something. This stone is from an area south of Sweetwater, Texas. I don't know exactly. It's a big area, and it was given to me. Of course, no one reveals their stashes. I used to get a lot of questions about that. Where do you get your stone? Where do you get it? Where do you get it? But I don't reveal any areas anymore. I just tell people to go to landscape supply yards, look around. Some guys don't want to do that because the landscaper or the owner of the business will come out and ask, what do you need? And sometimes they'll try to sell you something and basically bug you while you're trying to look for flint, so they don't like doing that. But it's worth it. You know, you can ask the landscape supply yard owner if he knows anything about flint, or if he has any in his yard that he knows of. 9 times out of 10 they'll say, no, I don't think we do have any flint. But once in a while you'll get someone that says, yeah, we've got chert, or we've got agate, or sometimes they'll actually say flint. We got some flint. It's usually little pieces though, right? Gravel, flint gravel. But you can ask, especially in Texas, they call it bull rock, which is whole nodules of chert, various qualities. And if you say, well, I'm looking for bull rock for flint knapping, or any kind of flint for flint knapping, and some will say, well, okay, well, go ahead and take a look. I don't really know anything about that. See if you can find what you need. Once in a great while, you'll find a guy that says, I know what that is. And they'll say, we don't have any, but I know where you can get some. Or they'll say, yeah, we have a pile of it over there. Or we're kind of out of it, we'll get some next week. Then you'll come back and, you know, just check it out. I've asked some guys to keep an eye out for a source of that stuff, and then I'll come back in a couple weeks and I say, okay. Sometimes they'll have it when I come back, sometimes they won't. But I look for bull rock or chert, and most of the guys out here know what that is now. So anyway, if you live in San Antonio, it's everywhere. All the new construction is basically using chert and bull rock for landscaping, especially hotels and restaurants. You know, literally tons and tons of it is brought in to landscape these new restaurants and hotels. So if you're in San Antonio, just take a look and you'll see what I mean. Most of it needs heat treating, of course, but it's not a big deal. It's not like novaculite that needs very high temperatures. Chert needs very low temperatures on average, 350 to 400 degrees, which is, you know, pretty low. Novaculite requires 600 to 700 degrees, I think, to make it glassy. Anyway, almost done with this pressure flaking. 13 minutes. I bought some new bulbs too. Let's see. I'm going to try these out. 120 watt, so it's pretty bright. I might be able to get a much brighter area, kind of like sunlight, I'm hoping. I know they sell sunlight imitating bulbs. I might get one of those too online. The flakes are traveling really well on this stone. I'll show you here in a minute. I'm not trying to drive really long flakes. I just want to clean up some of those step fractures are in a little ways. I can try to get under some of them. But like there's some spots on here that are pretty bad. I won't be able to get this out right now. I'll have to power it out somehow with a punch strike. But everything else looks okay. And it's not perfect, but you know, it'll get better and better as I do more videos. Just getting back into the hang of it on the fly. I can't do too much of this off camera. I just don't have time. I wish I did. I've got a bunch of rock challenges too I need to do. I got 2 bins right behind the camera. They're like 10-gallon bins full. Both of them are full of rock challenge material. So 20 gallons of rocks to go through. Alright. And those have been saved up over the past 3 years. Okay, let's see. So it's yeah. Let me start thinning down that base. Clean up more of the edge. Just a light brushing. It'll give me a chance to look to see if there's any noticeable cracks. I don't see any, although there might be one in here. So if it snaps, it'll probably be through here. You know, if I hit the base really hard, it'll probably, the snap will probably start somewhere in here and go across. But if I grind it down, or if I abrade it, make it stronger. So abrading is not only for platforms, but to make the whole edge stronger, so you know the cracks won't start on the edge and go inward as you're hitting on the tip or base. Anyway, I think I've studied this enough. I'm going to flatten this out a little bit more. I'm kind of tempted to make a contracting stem, but I said I was going to make an expanding stem, so I'll just do that. Nice bevel. I'll send some flakes in. I might be able to send, well, it's kind of a weird area, I might be able to send a flake all the way across, hit that from the backside, from down here somewhere. Kind of risky. Because there's a concavity in the middle. If I can take down that high spot here and then send a flake across, it might work. I know I can do it with aluminum, but with the abo tools, they absorb a lot of energy, so that the flakes don't go very far. You know, antler's more spongy than aluminum or copper, so you know I can probably do that with the metal and send a long flake in, but I would have to hit it really hard with antler to get that to travel, but it might work. We'll see. Going to test a little bit and see how it goes. That was right in the middle there. Traveled pretty good. I might try that. like it. It's really high. I don't like the idea of striking that a flake that long. There's a little area on the back side of this, right there. Might be able to put my punch right on the back of that and take off that high spot. Yeah, there it goes. I don't know if you can remember what it looked like before, but I hit the back of that short ridge. And I can't see where it terminated, but it started. Let's see. That's not going to help either. Let's see. Okay. Started right there. And I hit it, and it kind of dived in a little bit right here, but it traveled really well. So now I don't have as high a area to try to send a flake in. I just need to prepare that platform down here a little bit better. Now this process is really slow for the video. When you're napping, all this stuff is second nature and you do it quickly. Might as well dress the whole basal edge there. I'll be sending in some more flakes, not only the one that I am planning on. And I like a continuous platform, or as continuous as possible. In case I, blow away that platform, I can just move over a little bit and hit slightly to the side. But like I said yesterday, if you've watched my videos, you know how I operate. I don't like to isolate platforms. Okay. I hit that pretty hard. I'm afraid to hit it much harder than that because it might snap. Oops. Slipped off. Okay, let's see. More pressure. You can't see it. You can kind of see where that went, like that. It didn't fan out. But yeah, I don't want to hit it harder than that. Let's see if we can see the. Okay, so I'll go faster. I'll probably be able to get that from the edge. Just, or when I do one of the notches for the barbs, I can strike inward. There's a lot of options. And when you strike with a point like this, it puts less bending stress. If I were to use a thicker or more round striker, it would put more bending stress because it's gripping more of an area. It grips more of an area there and it bends it more. With a smaller, more concentrated force, it only bends it slightly. You know, there's less time in detaching the flake. The initiation is faster with a sharper point. Still can snap though. Yeah, I wiped out. I almost peeled off that platform. You know, when that happens, you know, you just increase the amount of antler into the stone, but that also increases the amount of bending force. You know, it grips a lot harder. So you gotta be careful. Not too aggressive. Okay. Alright, I'm not going to push my luck. I'm going to thin the other side now. It's not going to be super thin. They'll get thinner as I make more videos. Besides, it's good to keep a little bit of thickness right now because I still have opportunities to send in some really big thinning flakes. And if it was really thin, like I was saying yesterday, if it's already a thin piece, it's very hard to send in nice big thinning flakes that look really good on the finished piece. It's not the ultimate goal to get nice pretty big bold flakes, but it does look nice. The important thing is when you're making these is to make them functional, of course. Gotta be sharp and fit on a stick. Flake pattern doesn't really matter much. That was right there. A little bit too aggressive, but that's okay. That's called a crescentic bite. When you take out that semicircular area. Crescentic bite. Gotta beware the crescentic bite when you're working with antler. Okay. A little bit conservative. I didn't put as much force. Flick didn't go as far, but I'm going to get a lot of these steps from the sides. All right. I didn't really thin that base that much, but it's good enough. I'll probably send a few more. Talk less and get more done on the next video.